Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and on Saturday at whatever time I can get to it. Tune in live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Lowry Sweeney. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. There we go. We are started. We have begun. Save project as. This will be NSC205. Save. All right. Now I hit back. Save. When is the Fortnite event? It is at 1:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern. So that would be in 2.5 hours, if I am correct. Maybe Kodiak can shed some light on that, although it is part of the show notes. Okay. All right, where are we? Oh, I did not put a sponsor in. Let's go ahead and grab a sponsor. New sponsor. And we'll say OP Seat. Create sponsor. And then refresh. There we go. Episode 205 of Nintendo Switchcraft is also brought to you by OP Seat. Head on over to runjumpstomp.com/OPSeat to directly support the show and get a fantastic gaming chair that can support you. I'm sitting in one right now and it's great. By the way, if you go to runjumpstomp.com/OPSeat, that will give you $10 off your gaming chair. So make sure, again, that URL is runjumpstomp.com/OPSeat. There we go. Sponsor. What did I do? Cancel that. Save. There we go. All right. This is it, guys. This is the last day that you can sign up for our giveaway to celebrate 200,000 downloads of the podcast in the last 4 months. I am giving away $60 worth of eShop cash. And actually, in just the month that we've been doing this, the show has been downloaded 40,000 times, which is just crazy and awesome. So if you want to enter that giveaway, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/giveaway. There are, as of the recording of this, it is 11 a.m. For me on U.S. Eastern, and as of recording this, there are only 13 hours left to enter the giveaway. And whoever wins will be getting $60 worth of eShop gift cards. So make sure that you enter the giveaway if you haven't yet. And again, that URL is runjumpstomp.com/giveaway. All right, now it's time for the news. Well, now that we got all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about Nintendo's news today. So we're going to start with the full message from Mr. Furakawa. Mr. Shintaro Furakawa, he was in charge of marketing for this Nintendo Switch stuff, and I would say he's done a pretty damn good job. And he is now, it sounds like there's an airplane going overhead. He is now taking over for Mr. Kimishima, who was the interim president of Nintendo after Mr. Iwata passed away. So Mr. Kimishima took over. He led the charge with the Nintendo Switch. And now he is stepping down and retiring, and he is going to be replaced by Mr. Furakawa, who's been working in the marketing team, basically. And Mr. Furakawa gave a statement, and I talked about it on last episode, but that was only a little tiny bit of his statement because that's all that we had translated at the time. So now we have the full official translation of Mr. Furakawa's statement to shareholders, and I'm going to go through it real quick with you guys. I'm going to read it, and afterwards I will what's the word I was looking for? Oh, I will just talk about like what I think about it. So this is the direct quote. This is from officially from Nintendo. It says, since the launch of the family computer system called Nintendo Entertainment System outside of Japan in 1983, Nintendo has been offering the world a unique and original entertainment products under the development concept of hardware and software integration. In the field of home entertainment, the video game industry is one of the few industries established in Japan that spread around the world. Nintendo has established itself as a well-known brand truly representing video game culture throughout the world. We want to continue, we want to continue being a company that creates entertainment and to bring smiles to people's faces. We also want to expand the number of people who have access to Nintendo intellectual property. In other words, we want more people to have access to the characters and worlds from games created by Nintendo and thereby raise the corporate value of our business. Based on this fundamental strategy, we will continue striving to offer products and services that anyone can enjoy, regardless of age, gender, or gaming experience, by keeping our dedicated video game platform business with its integrated hardware and software at the core of our operations, as we have always done. Within our dedicated video game platform business, we will continue our efforts to introduce an even wider range of consumers to the unique appeal of the Nintendo Switch, which can be played anytime, anywhere, with anyone. We will likewise work to continue providing software that can be enjoyed by a variety of consumers. In addition, we will work towards strengthening our digital businesses and building longer-term relationships with customers through services such as Nintendo Switch Online. We continue to expand the number of people who have access to Nintendo's intellectual properties in the world beyond games platforms developed by Nintendo. One method for achieving this is by expanding our game business to smart devices, which have built an extensive install base worldwide. The experience of playing games on smart devices is different than that from playing games on a dedicated video games platform that we develop with integrated hardware and software, which has yielded new opportunities to develop and operate games that more people around the world can enjoy on their smart devices. We are also bringing Nintendo characters to several different sectors, including theme parks, video content, and character-based merchandise to increase the opportunities for consumers to encounter Nintendo intellectual property in their everyday lives. With support from our external partners, we are actively working on these aspects of business, which differ from the dedicated video game platform business that has been a part of Nintendo for so many years. We intend to expand the number of people who have access to Nintendo IP by raising awareness across an even broader consumer demographic through these opportunities to make contact with consumers outside of games. Nintendo will continue to flexibly transform itself by adapting to changing times while consistently valuing the spirit of originality based in the belief that the true value of entertainment lies in its uniqueness, and we will continue to provide products and services that surprise and delight customers. We ask you, our shareholders and investors, for your continued support and encouragement. Okay, that was a lot to read through. So my first takeaway here is we already kind of knew that Nintendo was doing this. We knew that there's been lots of rumors that Nintendo was working with Netflix to make a Zelda show, or that they were working on theme parks, and now we know that they are working on theme parks. We've known about that for quite some time now. We don't know if Nintendo is going to be working with Netflix to make a show. That just seems like something that's a pipe dream, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, and it doesn't mean that it would happen with Netflix anyway. So we know that we've got these things in the pipeline. I know that there's been a lot of people talking about the fact that Charles Martinet came in to read for the new Wreck-It Ralph movie. So I think that we're going to see Mario in the new Wreck-It Ralph movie. And maybe this, maybe this is what Nintendo's plan is to just take their IP and kind of insert them in various strategic places in order to get more people to like, oh yeah, I remember Mario from forever ago. Let's check that out. And do I expect to see a full Mario movie? I do believe that we're going, like, I'm fairly certain that I've even talked about this before, that we've got a Mario movie coming, and it's going to be an animated movie. And what kind of game or what kind of movie is that going to be? We don't know. Where is it going to be, in theaters, or is it going to be like on Netflix? We don't know. But it seems like Nintendo is stretching out in order to reach more people, and that's definitely a good thing. Because the more people that Nintendo reaches, the more successful their console is going to be, and the more successful their console is going to be, the more third-party support it's going to get. So that seems like a win-win-win. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who say that they don't want Nintendo; they just want Nintendo to make games. Just make games, Nintendo. Right now, I think Nintendo is the only of the major consoles that is not diversified. Like, Nintendo is very much a video game company, whereas Sony is an entertainment company. They make TVs, they make headphones, they make movies, they make video games. Microsoft makes computers, they make games, they make operating systems and software. Nintendo just makes video games. And so it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo to diversify, because that allows them to take more risks. And if there's anybody out there that is really good at taking risks and usually having those risks pay off, it's Nintendo. And for them to be able to take those risks without just destroying their business, then I think it's a good thing. Fisto in chat says, weren't they working with Illumination Studios? That's correct. Now that you say that, I remember it now. This is the company that made, I believe, the Minion movies, which I know that's like, oh, I don't want to see Mario Minions thing, but just because they made Minion movies doesn't mean that it's not going to, I think that Nintendo has learned from their movie mistakes in the past. If you've ever seen the 1980s version of the Super Mario movie, that thing was a dumpster fire. And I think Nintendo learned that you can't give control over to other people who are not you. They have to control it. And I'm sure that Nintendo will retain control when they're working with Illumination Studios. But overall, I think that this is a good message from Mr. Furakawa, and I am excited about what he's going to do with Nintendo's future, because this guy's really young. He's going to be the president of Nintendo for a really, really long time. All right, we recorded the first part. Furakawa. All right. Oh my God, there are a million cars going past my house so loudly. So yesterday, well, actually 2 days ago, Arena of Valor came to the Nintendo Switch, and I was in the woods at a science conference, so I missed out and didn't get to play it that day. But I played it the next day, and I did a first impressions where I just played through the tutorial and recorded it, and you can see that over at YouTube. But now I just want to talk about my impressions with the game so far. So if you are unfamiliar with the genre, this is a MOBA, which means Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. And this particular genre, basically the way that it works is you'll have a team on one side of a map, a team on the other side of the map, and each team has a core that they have to protect. And your job as the enemy team is to destroy your enemy team's core. Um, Between you and the enemy, there are a set of towers, and the map is basically mirrored on both sides. So they have towers, and you have towers, and the towers do lots and lots of damage to you. So you need to destroy those towers so that you can march along and then destroy the core. And the real gameplay stems from the fact that most of these games have a lot of diversity and uniqueness to each hero. Each hero that you can play, and I think there's like 30 of them or something. Each hero that you can play has their own abilities and play style. And, they'll break up the characters into different categories. Like this one's a tank, this one's a damage dealer, this one's really good at going into the jungle, which is the space between the lanes where the towers are. And then this one's a support. And as you play through the game, everybody starts at level 1. And as you play through the game, you level up and you get gold from killing monsters or killing like the little minions throughout the map, or by killing players. And then you can take that gold and spend it on items in order to make your build more unique than somebody else's. And as you play the game, you level up and you get more abilities. And then the enemy team is doing the same thing. And it is a really, really fun style of play. Now that I've described what a MOBA is to you, I'm going to give you a couple of examples that maybe you have heard of before. My two favorite MOBAs that I've ever played is Heroes of the Storm and Smite. Heroes of the Storm is a Blizzard game, and they really streamline the MOBA experience. They take all of the gold out of it, so there's no gold to deal with. You don't have to worry about buying items. Instead, as you level up, you get new talents, and those talents basically they take your very few abilities, usually 3 or 4 abilities that you'll have on your hotbar at the bottom, and they change them in some way. And overall, that's how like Blizzard had streamlined the mechanics of a MOBA. Another thing that they did is that the entire team will gain XP altogether. So you won't have one person on your team be level 14 while somebody else on your team is only level 8. Everybody is the same level on your team, and the other team, everybody is the same level on that team. And I really like the way that Blizzard kind of streamlined the MOBA experience. The reason I really like Smite is because Smite has fantastic controls, specifically for using a controller, although it also has really good controls for mouse and keyboard. So when I heard that Arena of Valor was bringing, which is I guess it's got 200 million players every month on mobile, which is bananas. When I heard that they were bringing that game to the Nintendo Switch, I was kind of excited, although I was a little cautiously optimistic. It's a mobile game. It's probably not going to be exactly what I want, but it turns out that they've really nailed it. Now, what have they done to separate themselves from other MOBAs? Well, first off, it's the only MOBA on the Switch, so they've got that going for it. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. But when I play Arena of Valor, the things that I looked for is the streamlining. So the streamlining that Blizzard had done with Heroes of the Storm, they kind of duplicated that. Not in the fact that you gain levels as a team, because that's not true, and that's one of my little nitpicks with the game. But in most games, when you earn the gold, you have to go back to your base in order to buy the upgraded gear. And you don't have to do that in this version, which makes it feel a lot more like the talent system that's in Heroes of the Storm. And I really like that. I like that I don't have to go back to my base to buy these shoes that make my character move faster, or to buy the sword that makes my character do more damage, or to buy the shield that makes them take less damage. So you can just have your build set up ahead of time. This is the stuff that I want to buy. And then when you get enough money, your character automatically buys it. However, you also have the ability to interrupt that and say, no, I'm going to go this way instead. for instance, maybe you're going up against somebody that does a lot of magic damage. So you're going to say, well, I'm going to take a little more magic defense because of the character that I see that is in my lane that I have to fight. And there's a lot of strategic elements to it. And that's really where the heart of the MOBA lies, is in the strategic elements of the moment-to-moment gameplay. And it is really, really fantastic. I played it for like 6 hours yesterday. I streamed it for 3 hours. I went and ate lunch. I took a hammock nap. And then I played it for another 3 hours on stream. And I had an absolute blast playing that game. So if you have not yet played Arena of Valor, I'm here to tell you the game is really good. They've got a lot of balance issues that I think need to be worked out, although the game is in beta. But overall, I feel like this is a game that I'm going to be playing for a really long time. Now, unfortunately, it's in beta right now. And what that means is that we're not going to be playing it anytime soon. I don't know when the game is actually coming out, but we only get to play it for like this week. And it is one of those free-to-play games where you are, you just start playing, and then if there's a character that you want, you buy that character, either with your gems that you earn through gameplay, or the gold that you earn through gameplay, or through spending real-world money on whatever currency that there is. For me, I probably won't spend very much real world money on this game. I'll probably just maybe to unlock 1 or 2 characters that I have kind of really that kind of grew on me yesterday. And I'll probably just focus on playing those characters. But you never have to spend any money because every week they give you different free characters. And I'm going to be playing a whole bunch of this game later on. No, I don't mean later on today. I mean when it comes out. And I'm really, really impressed with Arena of Valor. And I'm very curious what you guys think of it. Now, Fisto in chat is saying something that I really like here. He says, I want a Mario or a Marioba or a Mario or a Nintendo-themed MOBA. And I totally agree. In fact, this is something that I mentioned a million years ago, it feels like, that I would love to have, is all of the characters from Smash Brothers be characters in a MOBA, and I would play the hell out of that game. And I think that Nintendo could really take the genre and turn it in a way to make it so much better. But right now, I'm really happy with Arena of Valor, and I'm going to be playing a lot more of it. Please let me know what you guys think of the game if you were in the beta. And the thing about MOBAs is that there's so many really great moments where you're like, I'm almost gonna, you almost win or you almost lose, and you kind of pull things off at the end. But the games are also incredibly complicated and really, really hard to get your head around. And you'll end up watching a lot of tutorials as well. Anyway, let's move on. Save. All right. I heard there's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie planned with Jim Carrey in talks to play Dr. Robotnik or Mr. Eggman. I don't know. I mean, I like Jim Carrey as an actor. I wish he would just get away from comedy. And I know that he's really good at comedy, but all of his comedy is the same. And he's a really good actor. He should just do dramatic stuff from now on, in my opinion. Not that anybody wants my opinion, All right, let's hit the next part. Well, everybody, I've got some disappointing news for you, and that is that Bethesda's Todd Howard was interviewed, and he said, guess what? We're probably not going to be getting Fallout 4 for the Nintendo Switch. Let's take a look at the article here. So where is the quote? So here it is right here. It says, he was asked, are we going to be getting Fallout 4 on the Nintendo Switch? And he says, well, there's definitely interest. It's not something that we are exploring right now. We think that Switch is a great platform. It was the first time that we really worked closely with Nintendo on Skyrim, and really, really great experience. And we'll certainly be doing more things there in the future. But right now, it's not a mainline Fallout 4. So, what does he mean by that? It means that no, we're not working on Fallout 4, but I never say never because you never know what happens. Um, this is a little disappointing, but for me, I don't expect them to be bringing a Fallout game to the Nintendo Switch. If they are, I expect it to be Fallout 3. That would be a better game for the Switch anyway. It's last generation. The Switch is a little bit less powerful. It would be a lot easier for them to port Fallout 3 to the Switch than Fallout 4, which was made on this generation. And in my opinion, it's a better game anyway. So it'd run at a higher frame rate, at a higher resolution, and it's a damn good game to boot. So that's what I would prefer. A lot of people are saying, well, maybe it's because they're working on Fallout 76, and I don't think that that's ever going to happen. We're not going to see Fallout 76 on the Nintendo Switch because that is their game that they are making for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and that game is going to look really, really pretty. And the fact that it's going to look really great means that there's a lot of work that would go into porting it to the Switch, and I really don't see Bethesda doing that, even though they've been a really good supporter of the Switch so far. Now, what do I want them to do? Well, first off, I would love it if they ported Fallout 3, but I would prefer in a real, in a perfect world, they would give us everything that everybody wants. But what I would prefer, in my opinion, would be for them to just make something for the Nintendo Switch that is unique to the Switch, that takes the Switch's portability into account. Fallout 76 is a game that they're talking about is very based on online multiplayer stuff. And not that the Switch can't be played online, but it can't always be played online without having like a hotspot, which like my family uses that all the time. My son will get in the car, he brings a Switch, we connect him to my phone, and he's able to play his Fortnite or Paladins or Rocket League or whatever have you, while we're driving down the road, and it works pretty good, although it's a little laggy. But that's beside the point. That's not what we're here to talk about. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Fallout 76 on the Switch because it's just going to be too hard to port it, and the online stuff. I feel like that's a game that's going to be always online, and that's really the best way to play it. I hope that they do something else on the Switch that is unique to the Switch, or maybe something that they make on the Switch and then they port it to other systems afterwards. But overall, I get the fact that they don't want to remake the game. Vaxxer says, I think they don't want to waste time on the game they already finished and want to focus on new stuff. And while I agree with what you're saying, Vaxxer, they can also just farm that port off to somebody else, because they're not the ones that ported Skyrim. They're not the ones that ported Wolfenstein. They're not the ones that ported Doom. They hired another company to do that porting for them. So maybe they just don't think that it's worth the investment of money. Not that they're wasting their time. They're just spending money getting some other company to do it. Let's move on. We've got another story that I want to talk about real quick. This is written by Kodiak Moonwolf, who's an editor over at runjumpstomp.com. Thank you very much, Kodiak, for posting this story. He noticed that there was something happening in Fortnite, and there's been some tweets about it. And basically what's going on here is, if you play Fortnite, you may have noticed a countdown on some of the TVs over the last few days. And actually we saw this before and then nothing happened. I'm not sure why that was. I talked about this before. The countdown is going to finish at 1:30 p.m. today. So this is Saturday right now. It's 11:30 a.m. right now. So in 2 hours, the countdown is going to finish. And I guess what's going to happen here is that there's a rocket that you can find on the top of this hill. I loaded up Fortnite earlier, and my son showed me where it was, and so I went to the little rocket, and then I got 5th place. But anyway, I went to the rocket, and I could see the countdown, and it's really cool. And I guess this rocket is going to launch, and like my son told me that it's probably going to hit an Anarchy Acres, is what he heard from some of his friends. I don't know what information his friends know, but this is what we know so far, is that there's a countdown, and that countdown is ending at 1:30 today. If you're listening to this and it's already passed, well, then you know what happens, but I don't. And I'll probably talk about what's going to happen next time. I think that this is really cool. I like when games do this kind of thing. One of my favorite gaming memories is I was playing Asheron's Call. And Asheron's Call had a living and breathing world where things that happened would change the world. And I remember one day, and they wouldn't change it live, like while you were playing, but they would change it during the patch or when the servers were down. And I remember I was playing on my character, and his name was Runs with Scissors. He was like a dagger character. I logged out in this town. I can't remember the name of the town, but I had logged out in this town. And the next day when I logged in, the ground that I was standing, like that town was gone. And there was a big hole in the ground where I was standing. And like my character had logged out at, a particular Z axis. And then when I logged in, he fell and died because I fell down into the hole, and it was far enough down that my level 3 character or whatever, took enough damage that it killed him. And so I respawned, and I went back over there, and I could see like there was like this thing floating over that town, and it must have shot down and destroyed that town. And I thought, my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. And I love that Fortnite is doing this kind of thing. I'm really excited about it. My son and I are going to be there later. What I really hope is that whenever you start a game right before 1:30 p.m. today Eastern, what I really hope happens is that they disable weapons or something so you can't kill each other, so that everybody gets to experience it. Because I would hate to jump off the battle bus, float down to that little mountain, hang out at the rocket site, only to have somebody kill me so that I don't get to see it. And yes, and I pointed out, my son and I were talking about this, and I pointed out to him, well, you could just spectate that person so that you got to see it. And he goes, but that's not me seeing it. And I totally get what he's saying. So I hopefully, when 1:30 p.m. hits, people aren't killing each other. We're just all, doing the stupid Fortnite dances and watching to find out exactly what's happening to this island. And who knows? It could be anything. All right. What the heck is the thing? LR for lightning round. There we go. All right, everybody, that's it for the show today. Before I go, I'm going to read a quick review. Klinger FPV gave the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. They said, I've started listening around episode 170 after desperately searching for quality Nintendo podcasts that could keep me up to date on the latest news and also be entertaining to listen to. The frequency of releases is incredible, and I always have content to listen to. I can't emphasize enough how much I love the show, and I was shocked when I realized how relatively small your following is. Yes, I am tiny. You'll blow up in the future for sure. Thanks for your awesome work. You do. Super excited for the Mario Tennis Aces tournament, and if I hear you read this on the air on the show, I'll die. Well, don't die, because then you can't play in the tournament. You got to stay alive. So thank you very much, Klinger, for the review. Reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts is huge and definitely helps people find the show. So make sure that you do that. And he mentioned our Mario Aces tournament. So I am doing a tournament. All you have to do to sign up is go to runjumpstomp.com/aces. We're waiting for us to get enough people to do a full tournament. I think there's like 3 spots left in order to have a 16-person tournament. If a whole bunch of people sign up and we get up to 32 spots, then I can do one of those. But if we get somewhere between 16 and 32, then I'm going to have to cut it off at 16 so that we can have an even bracket. So what'll happen is you guys sign up over at, again, runjumpstomp.com/aces. Once you sign up, you can I'll post the bracket, and then you'll find your opponent. You guys will play against each other. You'll post the screenshot in the appropriate channel on the Discord, which I haven't made yet, of the winner. And then I will make a new bracket, or I will work on the bracket to make it, down to the winners, and we'll do it again, and we'll keep going until we get to the final part. And the 2 people who are at the end, the winner of that gets a $10 gift card for the Nintendo eShop. That's courtesy of Backback B, and I'm giving away a $5 eShop gift card to the runner-up. So make sure that you join. Again, that's runjumpstomp.com/aces. Don't forget that if you want the full show, you can watch that over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And if you can't watch live video because you are a busy person, don't worry about it. You can watch the video after the fact over at youtube.com/runjumpstomp. And finally, if you're looking to support my content, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thank-you. All the links there help me create more stuff. And speaking of thank you, I have some people to thank. It's the live chat. The show would not be the same without them. So let's go ahead and run through. We've got Kodiak Moonwolf, Vaxer, Kronag 8, Grods 20, Lumberjoke 2, Fisto, Pudding, Romshack, PS4, and of course the lurkers. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. It makes recording the show so much more fun and a lot easier. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. And see you later, YouTube.